We have a question from FD Sab2, who's one of my subscribers, and he's been a great guy in the comments section over the last year. And so he has a question, and he said he'll put the first one up. So is there any specific model or engine that is known to be problematic that you should avoid at any cost, or might just become very expensive? And I think, this question makes more sense if you're looking internationally, because as far as the Elise and the Exige in the U.S., the only ones that we've had, unless I'm wrong, Dan, are the 1.8 liter Toyotas in either supercharged or non-supercharged trim. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, that's my understanding too. I think one of the big things that they tell you to look at, especially at a pre-purchase inspection, is cam wiping. And It doesn't seem like it's actually happening that often. And it may have something to do with our oil coolers are so efficient that the oil may not be hot enough. But I don't think many people are actually running into it. I think it's a very, very select few, and everyone's just being very precautious about it.
Do you know? It's a 2ZZG. I forget what the actual code is. Do you know if the cam wiping is an issue on the other, like the Toyotas that that engine was installed in, or is it just the Lotus?
Yeah, that I'm not sure of. I think it's in the Celica GTS also.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there are any modifications to the engine other than Lotus programming for the ECU. But I haven't actually looked into any of the Toyota forums to see if they have any of the same issues or not.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure that out too, because it's hard to tell exactly how, where the tuning happened, because it looks like Yamaha had tuned the engine for Toyota as well, but I think it may really be all ECU, like programming, that makes the engine, kind of act like a Lotus engine, from what I can tell.
We also could have more oil coolers than Toyota does in their cars. I haven't looked into that either, so I'm not sure if that plays into it or not.
Does yours have two? Because you have the sport package on your car. Does that?
I have the sport pack. I believe it all has two.
Okay. I see. I think on the non-sport pack ones like mine, in 07, that it doesn't have two oil coolers, but I think the 05s, nearly all of the 05s have them. So it's a little confusing, as would all things be Lotus. I think it's the K series Rover engines are the ones that have maybe head gasket issues are pretty common on the Elise. And so I think but it's just not something we run into here in the States, just because we've only gotten the Toyota variants, and I don't really, and the cars were pretty sorted out by the time they got here anyway, since we got them in 2005. And the S2 had already been production overseas, I think starting around 2002, even though it didn't have, I don't think it had the Toyota engine right away. But it's a little hard to say. I think they got them shortly after. But as far as I know, there really aren't any Elises that you're looking like, in the U.S. that are problematic as far as years. I think they really are all pretty good.